Am I the asshole for insisting my sister gets a prenuptial agreement? My sister and I are property investors who own 6 investment properties together. I know how the internet feels about evil landlords, so spare me that, please. That's not why I'm here. We started with one house to live in, then bought lots of cheap houses and flipped them for rental income. We're doing well financially because of said houses. My sister is getting married. Wedding is later this year, pandemonium dependent. I'm helping her plan, and we were going through a to-do list, seeing what's left to be done. She mentions caterers, venues, invites, etc., and asked if she'd forgotten anything. I said yes. Prenup. And we both sang, "We want prenup, yeah," like the Kanye song, then laughed. She moved on to the next item without actually addressing it. I leave it for then, and we go our separate ways. I text her later in the evening, quote, "Hey, my friend used a really good lawyer to draw her prenup, so let me know if you want me to ask for her deeds." She replies she thought I was joking. She's not asking her husband to sign a prenup. I reply, I wasn't joking, and I must insist he signs one. She calls and says it's not my place to insist. I say it is when our assets are tied together.
100%.
She asks me if I'm trying to say something about her future husband. I say I'm trying to be realistic and smart. Then it all goes to hell. She starts yelling at me about me being rude, jinxing her marriage before it began, yada, yada, yada. I say either she gets a prenup or we transfer all property to my name and I get one if I ever get married, and then I hang up.
Yeah.
Been bombarded by family saying her future husband is a good guy who would, quote, never do that if they separated. He sent me a text admonishing me for hurting my sister and calling him a gold digger. He thought I liked him.
Oh my God.
I'm not backing down on this.
So dramatic.
Emotionally manipulative.
Yeah, what?
I'm not backing down on this. Am I the asshole for how I went about it or wanting one?
No. Maybe you could have gone about it in a better way if you would have known your sister was going to act like that, but he didn't think it was a big deal. It's like he probably thought he didn't even have to ask her about it because what? That's selfish.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's selfish. He is tied to all of that property. How do you do that? I don't even know how that works. Like how? Sorry, I'm baffled.
Well, I think when you have, I think this is where the wealthy keep getting wealthy while the poor, stay poor. And I think there's a lot to be said about generational wealth and generational knowledge when it comes to money. Because, these people, I don't know, I don't know if OP is a guy or a girl, but, these people shouldn't just have 6 properties in their names. They should already have, an LLC protecting them. It should be a business with an LLC or a trust. It shouldn't just be tied to their names directly.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was really confused because how does that work? So let's say they did get divorced. Then let's say the guy did want to come for the properties. So now what is it split 3 ways? Does it actually affect him? Because
yeah, I think they would maintain their percentages, but the sister and the husband, whatever the sister has, she would have to share 50-50 of, which makes it more difficult for OP because then it's okay, well, if he's not willing to be bought out in his interest of whatever he would get in a divorce, then you have to answer to that person for any executive decisions that you make in regards to these properties. It just becomes more complicated when this person wasn't involved in this business whatsoever.
So can he just be let's sell our property? Or
they could.
But then he probably absolutely doesn't want to do that right now.
I mean, it's something they've worked for for a really long time. You just...
Or he, she, they. I don't know who this is.
Yeah, they never say.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I wouldn't... This is... I know they say at the beginning, landlords, evil, blah, blah, blah. It is tough, but rental properties and they put in work. They both put in work. They flipped these rundown houses and, as long as the rent is fair, I don't know, the housing and equal opportunity housing is a really complex problem. So either way, they've worked hard. They want to maintain it. And your sister getting married shouldn't fuck with your life and your revenue.
So what advice do you have for OP then?
I would do the trust or an estate where the husband can't touch any of their existing properties.
Yeah.
There is an update though that we do get. Good. So top comment on this one. No assholes here, but have you seen a lawyer about your options though? Surely there's some agreements you and your sister could sign that would at least protect your half of things. You're not the first person whose business partner has gotten married. Came here to say this. Time to formalize that partnership and set informal contracts, your respective ownership to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Someone else goes, agree 100%. Need to form an LLC to protect not just the rental property from your future brother-in-law, but also protect OP personally from any issues from the rentals. I'll look into it. Thank you. This is like one thing that I would say, like, if you're doing any risky things, you're starting a business, you're buying a home, like, do it with an LLC.
Yeah.
Because then that home is its sole entity and people cannot come after your personal, like, your money.
We've kind of talked about this before in because we were talking about Sapiens. So I think you've read a little bit of that, right?
No, I want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, they just basically talk about that a lot, how it's like this imaginary thing that we just created.
Yeah.
Like an LLC it doesn't exist, but we just create it and it's there.
Limited liability corp. Yeah. Like, I think I did one for the podcast. Like, I didn't want anything to go wrong, but if it did go wrong, I wanted to, like, make sure I was protected. Like, you don't want to, like, own a home and then have your business tank. So then because your business tanks, they can come after and take away your home from you.
Yeah, it's exactly. They would say that like word for word in Sapiens.
LLCs, you guys, and they cost a fee every year, but like they're pretty easy to do and highly recommend it.
Yeah. So, okay, next comment.
So for the update, we'll just get into it.
Okay.
It's been about 6 weeks since everything went down. I need to clarify a few things. I can't afford to buy her out, so that's not an option. She doesn't want to sell because they are long-term investments for us. It wasn't a case of we each own 50-50 in the properties. Between us, we know what's the case. However, legally sometimes I own 75% to her 25% and vice versa because of our financial standing at the time we purchased the properties. I would stand to lose a lot if her marriage went south because some of the more expensive properties she holds more equity in. The properties that have been paid off, we've been able to change the deeds, but those still mortgaged are that way at the bank's insistence. We have transferred all of the properties into a trust. It is a legal protection that outlines how everything is split, including clarifications on who owns how much. It says that spouses are not entitled to anything related to the houses. We've also decided to end our business ventures together. We'll keep managing the properties, but we won't buy any more together for the sake of the relationship. We're doing okay, still not as it was, but that is to be expected, I guess. Her husband-to-be is still withdrawn around me, but honestly,
A little bitch.
I don't care.
Yeah, fuck him.
Their wedding is going ahead as planned later this year, hopefully. Thanks to all who offered advice. The laws in my country are a little different, but we found a solution. Update over, short and sweet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand that she was sensitive, especially right before her wedding. And like, I mean, you know that you were super sensitive to prenups.
I was.
Very recently.
And so I cried.
Yeah. So I understand that hurt her feelings and she is so excited about her husband. She trusts him so much. And to feel like, you know, her best friend, brother, or best friend or whatever, that, I don't know what OP is. But
Sibling.
Doesn't or think that like her sibling doesn't think that their marriage will work out. You know, like I understand that she was hurt in the moment, but it's a really, really, really reasonable request of him or fuck. God damn it.
Of them. We don't know.
I don't know. Of OP. And
it's so funny how everyone pictures this story because I actually see this being another girl.
It's so funny. I was picturing a guy the entire time.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
We make little stories in our brains. We have visual images.
Yeah. But with that being said, I think the only asshole in this story is the husband. Like, get over yourself. Like, it wasn't personal.
Let your partner figure it out with the sibling.
Yeah.
It really has nothing to do with you.
It has nothing to do with you.
The only reason you're mad is because maybe you wanted, like...
Yeah, literally.
Maybe you wanted
to, like, have
some of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you felt entitled to that.
Yeah.
If that was your partner's. Like...
But it's honestly, like... I mean, my thought is that it could have been literally Jesus himself getting married to the sister, and OP would still be like, "Hey, let's make this more official." Like it doesn't mean anything about the guy being a bad guy, you know? So that's just so
not at all. It's just smart business.
Yeah.
And that's business. Like going into business with friends, family, it's extremely difficult. And I would have had a partnership agreement up front right away. Like it's something that can come with so much drama, and just like you just gotta hammer that shit out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Top comment. I'm curious. This protects you and your sister if your marriage goes south. But what if your sister has kids and then dies? Is there a provision for her husband and kids to benefit from her portion of your partnerships? The children inherit her share of the houses under guardianship of a lawyer until they're of age. Love that. Sounds like the most ideal, practical solution, and husband will get over it. And if he doesn't, then I kind of think that's a little
Then they get a divorce
sus.
because of that.
It's a little sus.
Can you imagine?
It's a little
It
sus.
is sus. I agree. I'm trying to think if I would feel. No, I really think that I would think it's reasonable if I was in the husband situation.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think so. I don't see how you would feel entitled to something that you played no part in.
Yeah.
That's why, like Justin in his music business, he's like, I would never, like, sure, if that's what you wanted a prenup for, sure. Like, I would never take any portion of your business or anything like that. Like, that's,
Right.
I had no part in that.
Yeah.
That's dumb. So, no, I think that's a very reasonable ask, prenup-wise. There's some crazy like prenup stories that I did find though that are very like, I think it was a listener honestly, that wrote in, and it was like my aunt was getting married and her future husband wanted like certain things in a prenup, and one of them was the fact that she couldn't stay away from home for more than 2 nights in a row.
How is that legal?
It wouldn't hold up in court.
Yeah.
But like there's certain things that people try to get away with, and it's like, what?
That's so scary.
Is she a slave? Is she a prisoner?